Now, moving on to section B, the poetry. Woo! I've often found that you either love poetry or you hate it, but that's okay. We'll go through it in a lot of detail. So for the poetry, you are asked to write an essay on studied poems, one of which you are given as an extract. And then for section C, you have the unseen. So people often think about, I've had this question before where it's like, how do I write a poetry essay versus a prose essay? And the answer is it's basically exactly the same. Poetry is just ever so slightly different in the fact that, again, like a play, it is made to be heard. So a lot of it comes out through the sounds. But in reality, how you go about analysing it, its importance, its effect on you as the reader, and what it tells you is exactly the same as what we've been looking at. So your poems in section B, they're separated into thematic categories. So you pick which one you've done, and then you begin to analyze. So I thought, again, it would be good to go over some poetic techniques because they do differ slightly from prose and plays. So the one of the big things to think about with poetic techniques is if the genre or the structure informs informs your understanding of the text. So sometimes thinking about the genre that it's written in, is it a dramatic monologue like what's it called? My Last Duchess. That's a dramatic monologue. Or is it a ballad? Is it a sonnet? A sonnet being the love poem, which has a very recognizable structure. Whatever, if it is a recognizable genre, does it adhere to all of the rules that you'd necessarily associate with that? A ballad tends to have a specific rhyme scheme. Does it adhere to that rhyme scheme? An ode is often a poem which expresses deep longing or love for something. It's literally in aid of an ode. Does it do that properly? Does it not? Thinking about the genre and how that informs your understanding of the piece. And then, yeah, again, with structure and form, is there a rhyme scheme? Is it regular? Is it irregular? Does it keep popping up and down? Is it present and then absent? With the rhythm, is there a constant rhythm? Is it something like a sonnet in iambic pentameter, or is it in a different kind of rhythm? Are there couplets? Is there repetition? Is it like a specific, is it a 3 stanzas and each stanza has 4 lines? What does the structure of the poem tell you? Does it create order? Does it create chaos? And then also sometimes in enjambment, I never know how to pronounce that word. Enjambment, it's when the lines basically like run over. So it's not, Freddie went to the woods. He started to run. That would be 2 sentences with full stops at the end. Enjambment would be, Freddie went to the woods and started to run. You see a lot of modern poets doing that nowadays. A lot of modern poets use enjambment for one reason or another. Again, thinking about your imagery, your literary techniques, are there, poets use a lot of metaphors and similes. Is there an analogy that's being used? Is there hyperbole? Poetry is a lot about symbolism. What kind of symbolism is there? Is there personification? And then again, the really important aspect for me, at least, when I'm reading or hearing poetry, is the sound, because again, it has been created to be spoken. It has been created to be listened to. Pardon me. So is there alliteration? Is there assonance? Is there onomatopoeia? Thinking about all of the different techniques that can be used in a poem, and then going on and analysing them in exactly the same way that you have been analysing everything else. So instead of giving you another example answer, I thought it would be good to have a look at the mark scheme. And it's very handy because I have the poem right here. So this question is from the power and conflict section. Talk about compare how poets present the effects of power in My Last Duchess and in one other poem from Power and Conflict. So you obviously have to talk about My Last Duchess. It will be the extract that you are given, and then one other poem. So it's another poem that you pick. So this example, it breaks it down into the different assessment objectives. So obviously 3 often tends to be a lot shorter because it talks about context. So have you included any ideas about the morality of leadership? Has there been an exploration of views of those in power? The negative corruptive view of power. AO2, the analysis of different types of imagery, contrasting imagery, sublime imagery, possible treatment of structural or formal elements, such as the fact that it's a, so if you were to comment on the fact that it is a dramatic monologue, and you were to analyze that, you would get a mark within the AO2 bracket. And then with AO1, talking about the comparison of different types of power. So again, this is more to do with how you would, what exactly you're talking about, what you're choosing to analyze. So any treatment of the effects of power, a valid comparison of political power to repress or control or influence societal groups. And I can bet you that I'm not going to be able to find it now. There probably is a key. My Last Duchess. Just might be good to hold this up actually while we're talking about it. Yeah, you can find it. I did open it. Yeah, we were. I opened it on this paper page earlier. So I can't see myself, but I'm going to assume that you can see me. Obviously, this goes into a lot of detail. There's themes of ownership, death, and foreshadowing, objectification, superiority, key ideas over here. So powerful versus the powerless. You could talk about that. You could talk a bit about gender roles as well in relation to power and conflict, and how there is an inherent power imbalance at the time. Yeah, there's lots of parenthetical, like parentheses. What else have we got? The pronoun, hypocrisy, and faux humility, resentment, tone of aristocratic pride. Thinking about the tone is really important when it comes to poetry, because more often than not in poetry, it's not always the case, but more often than not, you will have a narrator. And so again, it's like listening to someone's inner thoughts. So what is it telling you about your narrator? What kind of tone are they creating through their choice of language? And what impact does that have on you as the reader? So again, yeah, this is another good reason to have a look at past papers, because it will show you the kind of things you could be analysing, and how you can be achieving those top marks. So, oh, excuse me. This is, I can't quite see, this is still, yes, compare how poets present relationships between parents and children in For You Are Mine and one other poem. So yes, you have power and conflict and love and relationships. Can anyone pick out a good technique that you could analyze in this poem? Just give it a very quick read over. Anything. You don't even have to be able to analyze it. Just throw me something that you think stands out to you. I've already spotted a couple. My favorite word is being used in this poem. The one that I can't pronounce. There's quite a few. Yeah, just if you have any thoughts, pop them into the chat. If I can make sure that I can see it. There we go. I appreciate you might not be doing this poem, so if it takes you a second, then that's absolutely fine. I'll start to have a look through and a talk anyway. So the Marilyn line is completely as a monosyllabic word. It is literally well, it's not monosyllabic. well done, Sarah. It's a single word. It breaks up the sentence structure, which has been established previously. There is no rhyme scheme that I can see. There might be internal rhyme, but there is certainly not rhyme scheme at the end of the lines. So it doesn't create any sort of rhythm. There is a rhetorical question, which shows you that the writer is speaking to someone. Excuse me. The cha-cha-cha, it stands out. It's italicized and it's marked with an exclamation point. So again, yeah, it's really standing out. Clear as scent under the tree with its lights. The use of the caesuras, the commas, the punctuation within the lines of the poem, that gives you something as well. It's not as we talked about, a line that stops and then another line that starts underneath it. Yeah, just thought it would be good to have a look at that, and we could I've talked a little bit about different things that you could look into there.